Hi class, this is Dr. Karsten. I am going to make a quick video for you, and this is from Lesson 2, Session 3, the work that we did online on Monday. So I wanted to go over just a few problems with you, but I'm not going to do the whole thing because I need to leave school in half an hour, and I want to get this video posted for you guys before I head out. So I'm going to jump around and do a few problems for you. I'm going to get through as many as I can in the next 25 minutes. Hopefully even quicker than that. We already did a great review for the quiz. I know you are all ready, so that's why I'm also not going to spend as much time on this. So we're going to jump into problem number 2. So this says that Val's Video Game sells 11,806 new games. So I think that's important information. So 11,806 new games and 10,899 used games from May to July. Does Val's Video Game sell more new games or more used games? And then we have to write a comparison. So again, this is one of those that has 2 questions, so I like to star those to remind myself because I have to do 2 things. I need to answer this question right here. Does Val's Video Game sell more new games or more used games? And, so that's the first thing, and I also have to write a comparison, so that's the second thing. So remember, the way that we like to start these is that we like to stack our 2 numbers, and we do that carefully. We make sure we line up our commas, or another way to think about that is that we line up our ones and our tens and our hundreds and so on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So there's my first number, here's my second number, and then remember we always start comparing on the left in the greatest place value. So if I'm going to start comparing, I'm going to grab a different color. So first I'm going to compare my 10,000s. Now I know that I'm encouraging a lot of you to at least, if you don't want to put this in a place value chart, you should at least write O for ones, T for tens, H for hundreds, TH for thousands, and then TTH for 10,000s. Or you could put them in a proper place value chart if you want. So when I circled my 10,000s, I compared them and they both have 1 10,000. So those are the same. I move over 1 place. Now I'm in the next place value, the thousands, and here I can see they're different. And for this one, I see that this number up top, the top number, has 1,000 in it, and the bottom number has no thousands, has 0 thousands in it, which is telling me that this number is the larger number. Now, I'm going to go ahead and write that, but then I want to go through everything. So I'm going to write this again, though. 11,806 is greater than 10,899. But remember, they want us to show our work. So what we need to do is we need to show where we figured this out. And we figured this out in the thousands place. So what I would write is that 1,000 is greater than 0 thousands. And that's what I would use to compare these. And that's how we were able to figure this out, because if we knew that this one was larger, then we knew that this number was larger, and this is the comparison we wrote. And you could have put this under here also. So this is the first part, so we did, or actually this is the second part, so we did this one, but remember we have another question to answer. So if I wanted to take a look at this now, I have to say, which does Val's Video Game sell more new games or more used games? And what I know is that this 11,806, that's the new games. So I'm going to write, they sell more new games. Make sure you answer the question. So now I've answered both of the questions. I also really want to emphasize something else to you. Once you figure out what's different, do not continue on to the other place values. We do not do that. We stop. So remember, once you find the biggest place value that's different, you stop. This is why we always start on the left, and we discussed this in depth in the classroom. So I'm going to just keep going for now, but just remember, once you find what's different, that's what matters. You're done. You do not go on to smaller place values. They're not as important for figuring out what's different. All right, next question. So I want to look at this one because this is similar to some that we were working on today. Kara has 24,560 stickers. So this number is in Word format right now in her album. Raul has 20,000 plus 4,000 plus 500 plus 60 stickers in his collection. So this one is in expanded form. Which statement correctly compares Kara's and Raul's stickers? Who has more stickers? So again, this is a 2-question one. So normally I would put a big old star on here, and I can do that, an asterisk. But let me say this. When you pick one of these, you will already have answered both of the questions because it has both questions answered in each answer choice. So I just wanted to point that out to you. So in order to compare these, the first thing that I have to do is I have to put both of those numbers into standard form. So if I want to take this one, remember that a really great way this one, what we have to remember is we have to remember where our comma is and that we are dealing with our thousands period and we are dealing with our ones period. So for my thousands period, I have 24,000. So that's just going to be 24,000. And then here it says 560 stickers. So 560. And that's it, 24,560. After I write it, I always make sure to read it once to make sure that it really does match. 24,560. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take these numbers, and in order to convert this, remember the easiest way to take expanded form and turn it into standard form is to stack them up and add them. So I'm going to write my 20,000, my 4,000, and remember, line up your commas, my 500, and my 60. And I'm going to add them. So 0, 6, 5, 4, 2. And that way I'm guaranteed to not make like a silly mistake. So when I'm looking at these, I right away noticed something. I hope you did too. To me, they look like they're a good match, but I'm still going to make sure. I don't like to just go with it. I definitely want to check them. So I am going to stack them the way that we always do. So 24,560, 24,560. I know it's pretty obvious, but I like to make sure, especially if I'm taking a quiz. So start on the left. Those are the same. Those are the same. Those are the same. Those are the same, and those are the same. Because they're all the same, I do know that these two numbers are equal to each other. How lucky are we? There's only one answer choice where they're equal to each other, and it's answer choice D. That was nice and easy. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that one in. So now, though, it says Anna chose A as the correct answer. How did she get that answer? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a look at this, and I'm going to wonder, what did she do? What happened? So here's what I'm thinking. When I look at this one, I'm noticing that all these numbers were shifted over. There's a 0 missing in there. So I'm wondering, when she did this, I wonder if she forgot to write that 0. I think that that might be the answer. So that would be my answer, is that I think that she forgot a 0. And so her numbers were wrong. All right, I'm going to move on because I do want to try and get to as many of these as I can. So let's take a look at this one. This says that Dalton has 1,168 marbles, Juan has 1,079 marbles, Gilbert has 967 marbles, and Lydia has 199 marbles. Who has the greatest number of marbles? And I always read carefully to make sure I'm answering what they're asking. So I'm going to do the same thing I would do if we had two numbers to compare. I'm just going to stack them. So I'm going to put their first initials next to them just so I can keep track. So Dalton has 1,168. Juan has 1,079. Gilbert has 967. And Lydia has 199. She's not as big a marble fan, although definitely bigger than I am. And now I'm going to do the same exact thing that we've been doing. I'm going to start in the largest place value, which is the place value to the left, and that's this one. Now for some of you, we have ones, tens, hundreds, and thousands. I'm going to start in the thousands. And look at this. These two numbers don't even have 1,000. They are out of the running for being the greatest, the biggest. So they are gone. So these two are the same, though, so I do have to go into the hundreds. And if I look at the hundreds, Dalton has more. Dalton has 1, and 1 is greater than 0. So 100 is greater than no hundreds. So Dalton's the winner. And again, this is not a show your work, although I always appreciate seeing your work. All right, next one. Let's keep going. And remember, you can pause and look at this a little longer. Okay, number 5. A company makes 189,909 stuffed animals one year. The company makes 198,909 stuffed animals the next year. So I have two numbers. They are kind of similar, a little bit different. Which statements, oh wow, interesting, S on there. There might be more than one. Correctly compare the numbers of stuffed animals the company makes. I'm going to stack them and add them just like we, stack them up and compare them just like we always do. So I'm going to do it carefully. I line up all the place values. And then I can start comparing them. So I'm going to start with the biggest place value, the one on the left, and they both have a 1. So I'm going to go to the next one over, go over to the neighbor, right? We go to the next place value. So I'm going to circle those, and here they're different. So we're good. We found our answer. 8 is less than 9, so 8 10,000s, because this is the 10,000s place. 8 10,000s is less than 9 10,000s. And here we don't have to show work, so I don't have to write all of that. And so now I know that this number is the larger number. Now, I'm not just going to stop right there and start looking at that, because that opens me up to making a silly mistake, my friends. Please, please, please be careful. So what I am going to do, though, is because these are pretty much all comparing them. Oh, no, some of them are a little different. So I'm going to go ahead and write this. So I'm going to write that number first, 189,909, and I have to compare that to 198,909. Remember, 198,909 was the bigger number, so the alligator eats the bigger number, and we've done that a bunch of times. He's going to chomp that. Oop, I can't even do it on the camera. My hand just comes out too big. So if I'm looking at this, now I want to compare it to that. So here it says that 189,000, so that matches this number, but here they have the greater sign. That's not going to work for me, so that one's gone. So now they flipped it on us, and they're saying 198,000 is less than 189,000. It is definitely not, my friends. This is the bigger number. We know that. We have it right here. All right, 189,909 is less than 198,909. That one looks good. That looks exactly like what we have. I'm going to fill that in, but I'm not done. If you thought you were done, please don't mess up. Please keep going. We need to find the correct statements. So plural, more than one. They are definitely not equal. So let's just check this one out. Is 198,909 bigger than 189,909? It sure is. We know that here. They just flip-flopped it for us. So those two answers are correct. All right, next problem. Here we go. So this one says, Mr. Hunter writes the following comparison on the board. Use the digits in the tiles below to find the number that makes the comparison true. Fill in the boxes with the comparison using each digit below only once. So I cannot put like 99999 in there. Not allowed. So I need to fill in the 10,000, the 1,000, the hundreds, the tens, and the one place value using these. Now here's what you really have to focus on. The alligator's eating this number, so I need this to be a big number. So my suggestion to you is when you want to make the number big, make it as big as you possibly can. How can I do that? By making the largest place value as big as I can. If you do that, you are going to make the largest possible number. So which is the biggest number here? 9. Put that over here in the 10,000s. Gone. Now, the next choice is 6. And if you had put any other number there, it would have definitely messed it up because look, you have a 9 right there. So now I'm going to put the next biggest one, the 6 in. So as of right now, they're equal to each other. They both have 9s and they both have 6s. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab that 5 and put it right there. And when you see that, now you know that the 5 is bigger than the 3. You can see that. 5 is larger than the 3, so I am succeeding. And now I'm going to go ahead and put that 3, and I'm going to put that 2. So that is a correct answer. But just for the record, there were 2 other correct answers that would have worked. You also could have written 96,523. So that's another correct answer. And the final correct answer that would have worked, let me move this over, sorry guys, would be 96,000. And then you actually could have put the 3 in there, and then 52. So in all of those, I followed all the rules. I used those those numbers, and I used each one only once. And all of those would work. And if you want to check, which I really think you should, we'll just check this one though, because that was my answer. I'm going to go ahead and check those. So here, these are other answers. So those are more correct answers. All right, so I'm going to really quickly just stack my 2 numbers to check them. This is what I would do if I were taking a test, certainly, or a quiz. So I just pulled my 2 numbers and put them there. And I'm going to start with my 9s. They're the same, so I move to the next place value. Same, so I move to the next place value. And look at that. 5 is bigger than 3. 500s are bigger than 300s. So this was my check, and it worked. And notice again, I do not continue on once I found my correct answer. All right, let's keep going. But before I go, what if I had wanted to make the smallest number? What if I had wanted to make the smallest number? Well, then what I would have done is I would have started over here. And again, if this had been different, if they had said to me 96,341 is greater than, and then I needed to fill in all those digits for that number, to be safe, if I wanted to make this number smaller than that one, look at how the alligator's pointing, then you know that what I would have done is I would have started with the 2 just to be safe, and I would have put 2, 3, 5, 6, 9. So remember, pay attention. Pay attention to which way that symbol is pointed. What is it telling you? All right, I think I can do at least one more question. I have about 5 more minutes, so let me see what I can get done. So let's look at number 7. I think there's only 7, 8, and 9 was just a journal entry, so I'm just going to try these really quickly. Selena organizes her music files into 4 online albums. Album A has 1,011 songs. Album B has 1,000 plus 100 plus 10 songs. Album C has 1,101 songs, and Album D has 1,100 songs. Write the number of songs in the 4 albums in the place value chart. Which album has the most songs? So let's go ahead and try this. So I'm going to start with album A, and this one has 1,011 songs. So it has 1,000, so I'm going to write 1,000. So here's our 1,000, so I'm going to put a 1 in the thousands, and then it has 11 songs. Well, 11, if I write 1,000, 11, you guys can barely see that. Remember that this is the 10s and this is the 1s, and my hundreds is going to have nothing. So I'm going to put 0, 1, 1. So now let's go to the next one. Album B has 1,000 plus 100 plus 10. So I can either just write those in here, or I could stack them and add them, and that's the safe way, right? And there I'm going to have 1,110. And I have no 1s. All right, next one. We have album C, and album C has 1,101 songs. That's nice and easy. I can just write that in here. How easy was that? Now, album D is the interesting one. I like album D. It says that album D has 1,100 songs. So my friends, I'm going to grab my pencil for this, if I can find it quickly. I'm going to write 11 in the hundreds, because it's telling me it has 1,100 songs. So I'm going to write 11 in there. But remember, our rule, we are not allowed to have 2 numbers in one place value. So we have to take this and we have to convert it and move it over there. So I'm going to erase it and I'm going to move it over there because I don't want anyone to get confused who's jumping around. So if I do this again, remember, If I had 11, this one, we're going to move it over. We're going to convert it. This one represents 10 ones and 10 hundreds, and 10 hundreds becomes 1,000. Anytime you can make a 10, you move it over. So I'm going to have 1 1 here, 1 1 here. I have no 10s and no 1s. And now we can go ahead and we can figure out which album has the most songs by comparing them. Let me use my pencil. So here they're all the same. We start on the left, the greatest place value. So since they're all the same, I'm going to go over here. So now I'm down to these 3. So this guy's gone. Once you're out, you're out. Now I'm going to go move one over and compare them. And when I compare the 3 that are left, these 2 are now gone. So this one has the greatest. So album B has the most albums. And that's what you would have to write. So I'm going to write, let me do it in the color that I used for album B. So I'm going to write album B. B has the most songs. All right. All right, my friends, I have 2 minutes to do this last question for you. All right, last question. North Elementary School collects 14,128 cans of soup during a food drive. South Elementary School collects 14,210 cans. Which school collects more cans? And use greater than, less than, or equal to write a comparison. Show your work. It counts, my friends. It counts. So we have 2 questions again. So I'm asterixing it. I'm putting a star up. We have to name the school and we have to do a comparison. So here we go. If I want to compare the schools, I need to stack them. So 14,128, that's North. And South Elementary collects 14,210. So here we go. Let's compare. I always start on the left, the greatest place value. They both have 10,000s. Here we go. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. They both have 1 10,000, so I'm going to move over to the next place value. They both have 4,000s, so I'm going to move over to the next place value. And here's where it's different in the hundreds. South Elementary School collected 200s, and North Elementary School collected 100. And I know that 100 is less than 200s. So 100 is less than 200s. I have 1 and I have 2 in the hundreds column. Oops, sorry, I'm a little crooked there, my friends. All right, so now what I would do is I would write this, and I would say then that 14,128 is less than 14,210, because this is our bigger number. All right, so now, my friends, we have to make sure we answer the questions. So I did this one. I wrote it right here. Sometimes there's going to be a place for you to write it. Otherwise, it's right there. And then I need to answer the first question. Which school collects more cans? Well, South Elementary School collected more cans. So I'd write that. South Elementary School collected more cans. All right, we are done, my friends. I hope that was useful to you, and I'm going to try and publish this before I head out of the building. Have a great afternoon, and if you need any help, you can meet me tomorrow morning. I will run math club for a few of you in the morning. Everyone is welcome, so if you have questions, come. But otherwise, I will see you in our Google Classroom. Have a great evening. Bye.